I think I drink too much.
She want break up with her boyfriend cause of me. She not only me when she want, she no want see nobody. She want break up with her baba cause of me. She not only me when she want, she no want see nobody. I don't feel like I deserve your love, oh baby. You know they be like say I deserve your love, oh mama. I know they feel like say I deserve your love, oh baby. You don't feel like I deserve your love, oh mama. Cause I'm all for you. Make you no fear, don't you bother. Girl, I'm all for you. Make you no fear, cause she no man. I can be that somebody. If you need this somebody, baby you can call on me. I can be your company. Yeah, somebody. If you need this somebody, I can be your company. Baby you can call on me. Yeah, break up with that boyfriend cause of me. She not only me when she want, she no want see nobody. She want break up with her baba cause of me. She not only me when she want, she no want see nobody. Yeah. I don't feel like I deserve your love, oh baby. You know they be like say I deserve your love, oh mama. I know they feel like say I deserve your love, oh baby. You don't feel like I deserve your love, oh mama. Cause I'm all for you. Make you no fear, don't you bother. Girl, I'm all for you. Make you no fear, cause she no man. She want to break up with her boyfriend cause of me. She not only me when she want, she not want see nobody. Your boy there.
afternoon, good evening to all our amazing friends in Facebook land. My name is M Kamara, the Learning and Communications Manager at iCampus. I am so happy, excited this morning to welcome you to the very first edition of our learning webinar. And this first series is going to focus on a discussion that will highlight the long and short-term impact of COVID-19 on the Liberian education sector. To facilitate this discussion today, I have with me two young professionals, education advocates, and they are going to lead the discussion. Both of them work with the National Education NGOs Forum. So the first guest I would like to introduce this morning is Mr. Matthew Karley. He is the Senior Program Manager at Youth Coalition for Education YOCEL. And Matthew is one of the catalysts behind the Youth Education Summit, IES, and it is one of the biggest effort of education stakeholders in the country. So I'll turn over to you, Matthew, to fully introduce yourself and tell us personally about you, professionally, and also about yourself and what exactly it is that you guys are doing there.
Well, again, I want to say thank you very much for providing me the opportunity to be the first guest on the learning edition. And so my name is Matthew S. Karley II, and work for YOCEL as the head of programs. And YOCEL is an advocacy education agency that promotes youth involvement, inclusion into education matters. And YOCEL also is an institution that involves young people, women and girls, women and girls into the decision-making processes. And YOCEL have 4 thematic areas. YOCEL currently works on policy advocacy. On policy advocacy, we also work with the legislature, the Ministry of Education, all of institutions in which that we work with in line with our thematic focus. And another area we work with is youth participation and inclusion, because all of the issues that affect young people, the young people themselves need to be on the table where decisions are made. I will also do some research because you need to get the information, you need to get the data, you need to be informed of the issues. And we also work with marginalized women and youth as well. So work with young women and girls on our women inclusion into politics, women inclusion into decision making, into leadership. So basically these are some of the thematic areas that we normally function at YOCEL. But interestingly, this year all of those thematic areas will definitely be changed because we are now working on a next 5-year strategic plan of the institution. So interestingly, all of those thematic areas will be changed, will be retailored, and will be revisited due to our new thematic focus that we want to get into. So again, I want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to be your first guest on the learning about the webinar, and it is a pleasure.
Thank you very much, Matthew. Our next guest on this show is Mr. Goto Cooper. He is the founder and executive director of Educate the Future Liberia. Over to you, Goto. Just tell us about yourself and what you do at Educate Liberia.
Hello, Janet. I want to say thank you for welcoming me to this great discussion, the first episode. Listening to my colleague Matthew Taylor and all of the good work they're doing. I'm one of the witnesses to that, and Matthew, thanks to yourself. So again, I'm Goto, and like Janet said, I'm the founder and executive director of Educate the Future Liberia. So for sure, we call it ET of Liberia. So ET of Liberia, what we do, we actually promote quality education and unleash the potential of underprivileged youth through impact-driven projects and programs. And our organization for the last 4 years have been working to improve student outcomes on national examination. So from 2016 to present, we've been working with the WAS tutorial program where we bring students from different high schools and tutor them for 6 months through our core curriculum program. And from that time to present, we have tutored over 500 students leveraging some of the skills of volunteer tutors, and we have about 75% success rate, and 20% of our alumni are currently having international opportunity to top universities across the world. So as we are currently rebranding and working on a lot of thematic area, one major work we also get involved with is our Girls Education Empowerment Program, looking at some of the norms that young women are faced with, like rape, sexual, gender-based violence, and others. So our program will be working to improve girls' education and empower them in the decision-making process. And we're looking also into building students and young people's skills for 21st century opportunities, because a lot of them don't have the market value when it comes to looking at the skills they have, like computer or TikToks and anything they want to do. So we're looking into that, and those are things we're currently doing through our organization and the team and the partners. So yes, we're doing a lot, and we are happy to be here and look forward to the discussion.
Thank you so much. Now into our discussion for today. Like I said earlier, we are looking at the long and short-term impact of COVID-19 on the Liberian education sector. And be proud to the outbreak of coronavirus in Liberia. When you look at the Liberian education landscape, it consists of series of complex challenges, economic challenges, social challenges, and political challenges. We have issues of budget that we discovered that over the years, education has been lowly funded, and there have been a lot of advocacy initiatives to upgrade that or to create an improvement in that. And as part of that, we decided to talk about this today because we discovered that education has been one of the social issues that have been affected by the coronavirus. So let's look at that on a general scale. We'll go back to you, Matthew, to give us a background just about everything going on generally with the sector as a result of the COVID crisis.
Okay, so thank you very much. So in a nutshell, what we've been involved with from YOCEL perspective is to look at the education sector beyond COVID-19, and also do an analysis of the post-Ebola, after the Ebola, what happened to the education sector, and also bring it to bear to post-COVID, what also happened to the education sector. So prior to that, YOCEL is among 7 national civil society organizations that have been advocating for the increment to the budgetary to the education sector. In 2017, the percentage to the budget was 13% in 2017 to the education sector, and that was a very limited amount that has been contributed to the education sector, because Liberia is among the West African countries, and Liberia signed onto regional and sub-regional instruments, for example, the Dakar Framework and also the Beijing Declaration. And even the Dakar Framework 2000 also mandated head of state to at least allocate 20% of their budget to the education sector. And if you accumulate that to GDP, it's just 6%. So based on that, we are holding government accountable to what they signed onto. So based on that, we started this advocacy in 2017 with other civil society organizations on the Move for Education campaign. So the whole entire campaign was called the Move for Education. So the Move for Education campaign or advocacy was managed to take the education budget from 13% in 2017 to 15.8% in the 2019-2020 budget period. So our advocacy is to ensure that if resources are given to the education sector, and one of the mistakes that people normally make is that the education sector is not only the Ministry of Education. The education sector in totality comprises of universities, colleges, other faith-based organizations are also contributing towards the education. All of those people make up the education sector. So when we are talking about budgetary increment to that sector, we are talking about it in totality. It will affect every level and every facet of the society. So the reason why we are pushing for 20% is to see how well we can mitigate some of those challenges. To eradicate those challenges will take a long period, but we want to see how we can mitigate those challenges and see how the government can come to an appreciable level that the education sector, the standard of our education sector can be improved. For example, teaching quality is another serious issue in the education sector. The learning outcome of students is another serious issue. Infrastructure is another serious issue. Because you cannot have a classroom, for example, in Riverside, you go certain part of Riverside, you see the learning conditions of people, the learning conditions of students in the classroom is very appalling. So all of these things also play psychologically on the mind of the student in terms of their output. So these are things that we are putting before the stakeholders to ensure that the education sector budget is increased by 20%. And we are not resting. We are not resting. We want to ensure that this year, the 2020-2021 budget period, we are also engaged in the legislature to ensure that the budgetary percentage of the education sector can be increased by 20% by the end of June. You know, by the end of June, per our advocacy, per our advocacy, but at the end of June, there will be an end to the entire advocacy. But we are anticipating that since June will not be the benchmark, but before we end this budget period, we can exceed the 20%. That is our advocacy, and right now we are engaging lawmakers of Capitol Hill. For example, Senator Dallas, a couple of days ago, we were on the phone with him, and he was very optimistic that if the budget comes before them, he will ensure that in lobby with his colleagues so that the percentage of the education sector can be increased.
Thank you very much, Matthew. That was a think tank. There are a lot of things Matthew mentioned, one of which is the Move for Education advocacy campaign. We have been part of that campaign, and thanks to our sponsor, the USAID Accountability and Voice Initiative project that supported the Move for Education project. And I would also like to say that the current webinar series is being funded by the USAID Accountability and Voice Initiative project. And we are running this series to create learning loops around some of these issues that Matthew just touched based on. So before we go to Mr. Cooper to give us a little highlight from his end, I would like to say that the USAID Library Accountability and Voice Initiative project it has a kind of general goal of promoting coalitions and advocacy groups to create greater accountability across sectors. So the project has actually been working in different sectors. The project has focused previously in the past, focused on the NRM sector, advocacy issues in the NRM sector, and then we went to education, and then we also went to political reform. And we talk about a lot of issues from women political participation to youth, including youth voices in political decision making. So we will continue the discussion now to turn over to you to tell us exactly from your own perspective.
So, from ETL public perspective, the field we've been doing, before the lockdown, our organization as usual was working through our national exam tutorial classes, where we go over 50 students from different high schools, and we were tutoring them to write the national exam. And unfortunately, that was short-lived because of the pandemic, and that was a very, very difficult situation. We had to close down everything on the national and international skills. So we realized that, okay, these children at home and what needs to be done. Sadly, when you look at it, a lot of the children we want to reach out to never had a gadget like phone or computer to continue their learning online. And the government launched the Learning by Radio program. And that Learning by Radio program was something to encourage learning while the student was still at home. But because of our organization actually worked in national exam, we got a grant from Liberia to monitor the Learning by Radio program. And when we were carrying on our monitoring project, we realized that many of these students still face challenges. Our target was not to take from first grade up to 12th grade or from 7th grade to 12th grade. We were only looking at where our project actually works. And the project is from 9th grade to 12th grade. So we monitor for 3 weeks, and some of the feedback we got was the students were looking at more like an organization that the government actually sent to gather information, so they were not pretty much interested in it. And if you also look at it, a lot of them never had access to radio, especially in some of the communities. And they just like, we don't want to do it. So it was a difficult situation looking at the learning by radio program and how we can encourage learning for our students. And I happen to be one of the persons on the government committee for continuous learning education, Educated Future Bureau. We are one of the CTEX organizations there. And we're looking at how these students will get back to school with the full psychological mindset that they had before the lockdown. And Educated Future Bureau looking at all means to get these students back in the classroom, build their skills, give them the same education they need, and encourage teachers to go back and teach them. But it's going to be a serious case because many of them are actually having a serious problem of not going to school. And some teachers are even looking at they're not going to teach again because the lockdown caught them in a serious economic problem that they cannot even withstand their family. So if they have to go back in the classroom, how are they going to go? And what the school have been doing for them before the lockdown or during the lockdown. So there are a lot of challenges we're looking at. Howbeit, ETF Bureau is still determined and still courageous to get our program started, although the government have agreed and announced that school starts the 22nd of June, which is today, going forward. So we will have our students back in the classroom as of next month, and we will tutor them for the national exam come in August this year.
Thank you very much, Goto. So basically, we have touched base on the institutional level where different organizations have been doing a whole lot of things to support the education sector, even during the current crisis. So now let's look at the instructional level, right? When you look at the Liberian education sector, at the instructional level, we have kindergarten, primary, and we also have junior high school, senior high school, and college. If we look at the impact of those levels, how has this COVID-19, impacted those different various levels of instruction in the sector?
Yeah, so basically I'll definitely start from the primary level because for me, I believe that if the foundation of anything is not very solid, reaching to the top, you definitely face difficulties. So our focus should be on primary and secondary before going to tertiary, that's university. So the primary education, prior to COVID-19, there were issues, and COVID-19 have also compounded those issues. So there were other issues facing the sector. So for example, the ECD program, the Early Child Development Program, at the time those programs were funded by donors, the World Bank and USAID, but those programs definitely has timeline and time limit. And after 5 years, the huge funding that was given during the Joy Wonder regime at the ministry was not forthcoming. So the new government took over, that gap has been created. So to fill in that gap, they brought the LEAD program and also the PPP, but they changed it to LEAD. It's not also helping the program sufficiently because there are other issues that people are facing when it comes to the private partnership engagement with education. But beyond that point, there are more need to be done when it comes to the primary level because the teaching quality is still low, the learning outcome of the students are also still low. Even the instructional staff, many of our teachers, sadly to see, in terms of ethics, some people, there are many teachers will have the credential to teach, but there are different between having the credential to teach and having the ethical lower standard to teach a child or to teach in the classroom. So most of those things are lacking, and the motivation is not there. Though we know that there are few public service jobs that we get into, you not go to it to get rich, but you go to it so that at least based on your passion and based on your own commitment. So for example, the education sector, the teaching, the police, you don't go into those sectors to get rich, but at least people who are there to be well accommodated. People who are there should be well accommodated, and people who are also there should feel the impact. So I will take it back to the world appeal. Just for example, just take a drive from here to Bentor, just in the same Morsorado. Take a drive from here to Bentor and move to school campuses and see the learning conditions. The learning conditions on many of those campuses are not favorable. And the reason why it is not favorable is because resources, limited resources. Though there are people that will talk about accountability, but there's also accountability component into the allocation of resources as well. But our focus should be on how we can allocate more resources to the sector. There should be a time where we will prioritize our priority as a country. But if we don't prioritize our priority, and the first priority that we should prioritize, in my view, is the education sector. Because if you just read the PAPD, the PAPD document that was developed by the government, on page 1, education is mentioned on page 1. And these are things that is said that we do for the people. It is a social contract theory. So on page 1, they strongly spoke about education, and that should be a priority for the government. If the government cannot succeed in anything, the government should succeed in education to make sure that it improves the standard of the education sector. We have gone too far to just continue raising the issue. That's why I was telling some of my colleagues the last time that we should not continue talking about the challenges. Let's see how we can put in some innovative measures so that those challenges will be mitigated. Fast forward, we're looking at COVID-19. What has COVID-19 have done? COVID-19 have also affected the sector because in a way that the government try to develop a very good policy document called they call it the emergency plan for the education sector. If you read that document, there are some brilliant ideas that the government will implement, but the government cannot implement those ideas without resources. The government cannot implement those ideas without resources. So the government starts with the teaching by the learning by radio. And interestingly, if you look at the UNESCO report, the UNESCO quarter report, in the same COVID-19 period, they highlighted Liberia and Kenya. These are the two countries in Africa that were able to institute the learning by radio. And they highlighted those two countries, but there are some challenges that they also mentioned that in certain part of the country, certain part of the rural part of the country, in those countries, the teaching by radio are not reaching out to those people. So there's a way the government in those two countries can now redesign their strategy. But the approach was good, but the strategy needs to be redesigned. So we can go on and on to talk about the challenges in the sector, but for me, I normally don't want to talk about the challenges anymore, but I want to sit on the table so we can put solutions on the table. That's the best way that I think we can address the sector. Because right now, for example, schools are about to open. 2 days ago, the government, the Ministry of Education released the guideline for school to open. I just saw the email, they released the guideline on how the different measures will happen. But then look at implementation. You say compulsory wearing of masks, social distancing. Some of those things are not practically will be acceptable. To see that students will be physically distancing in classroom, it will happen to us now, not with the natural people. Because we as a country have this culture of interacting with people. So how we can now see the whole COVID-19 and looking at it from a new perspective. Because until the COVID-19.
Yeah, so my favorite before you come in.
I was actually thinking if we can make this more of an interactive stuff, because it's more like Matthew is giving some grading points, and I wanted to add Matthew up on some couple of stuff. But I was like, okay, let me wait. Matthew finished preaching along stuff. It was so great.
Okay, so I know you have a lot of ideas.
Not just to add up to Matthew. Matthew did a great presentation, honestly.
Exactly, he did. Yeah, so but I want to ask you.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you were talking about the government has released a guideline on the reopening of schools.
Yes.
And then you stated that those guidelines, most of them are not realistic considering the current capacity of the learning institutions. So then my question is, how can the National Education NGO Forum work with the government to ensure that those guidelines are implemented? What are some of the strategies that the forum is trying to put together?
So the first thing, disclaimer, I'm not speaking for the forum. I'm speaking as a member of the forum. I'm not speaking for the forum behalf. So interestingly, the forum have been also engaged in the ministry during the whole COVID-19 when it came out. The forum have been engaged in the ministry, and some of those conversations we've been having is that a school reopening. Can we say we want to establish in every institution maybe a health club where people those health necessities can be tailored to the student, and the student themselves can have a TOT or peer education with their friends. These are one of the ways that we're thinking. And instead of you just going to the school and saying today everybody should wear masks. Interestingly, people will wear masks, but sometimes you find it difficult because some students will say that their parents can afford to get masks. So the school will have to take that initiative to get masks. So what is the government? Is the government the one providing the masks for the public school, or the students themselves providing? It's all about hand washing kiosks. Hand washing kiosks, when there's a situation that right after you go down, all the whole washing minute, people are not watching the thing again, so long you go down finish. So we need to see how we can learn some of the best practices after Ebola. And some of the things that happen after Ebola. At every institution, there was a hand washing working that place there, but only for short period. So the other issue that they raised that talk about physical distancing, for me I feel will be a challenge. Physical distancing will be a challenge. So what I feel we can do is that the government can maintain hand washing and wearing a mask and tell the students that this virus is serious, all the different health measures, but at least so the student can be aware that this thing exists. But if you try to make it in a way that people will say, probably the government want to get money out of it, it's a whole perception issue, so it will be a different thing. But I think the approach is good to reopen the school, but one thing I also need to get close to our mind is that the cases are also increasing. So we need to see how we can design another strategy to mitigate the situation, because people normally talk about the economy is strangulating when people stay home and don't have job to do. It's also true. So the government need to look at all of ways that they can work on.
So Goto, to you, I know you want to touch on everything.
No, you can ask a question. You can ask a question, please. I'm open to questions.
Okay, so over to you. Let's look at some of the long and short-term impact of the COVID-19 on the education sector.
So currently, you know that I want to go on a global scene, and then I'm going to get to Liberia. We have about 263 million children currently in school across the world. And this number is actually increasing. By 2030, it will be estimated that 231 million children still go to school. Currently, the world needs 69 million teachers. And this is something that's a lot. And COVID-19 murder have shown that we are way behind in achieving the SDG 4. So if this is the case, look at Liberia, the last day at the Joint Education Sector Review, and USAID presentation through the Accelerated Learning Program shown that about 300,000 plus children are going out of school. Pretty much alarming. And if you watch, there are a couple of reasons, and some of them bow down to adolescent girls. And if we have to achieve the PAPD that Matthew said in Bill 1, power to the people, right? And that power to the people have education as a major component. And we in government meetings, we talk about these things every day. We listen to the government plans, but we have not seen the real impact or implementation towards the written documents. If our students are to reach to the peak of international competition, civil society organizations, the Ministry of Education, parents, school administrators, and even the students themselves have to play a major role. And this is something we are now seeing happening. So a lot of our students are calling it down. The lack, like the coronavirus actually exposed everything. The lack of digital learning system in Liberia is a serious case. And a long-term plan, the government needs to start working on it now. Because if our students will continue, like what he said, Kenya and Liberia and UNESCO reports is a brilliant one, but one of the challenges you will come up is some of the children in your area do not have connection to radios. Some of the children, even if you do online learning, do not have connection to the internet. I was in Bon County a week ago, and certain part of Bon County where I was, there was no connection. And what happens is if I am a student in that area and the government launched a learning by radio program where I have access to that, absolutely no, I won't. So tailoring around some of these things, that teaching quality is a major one. Now, I say this because about 30% of our secondary school teachers are unqualified. And even if they are qualified, there are limited number of teachers in our schools. And those limited number of teachers are in our school, one person is teaching about 3 to 4 schools. So if you have the measure of the COVID-19 to reopen your schools and all of those measures are to be effective, look at the teachers. How will a teacher who teaching 4 schools be able to compete with all of those different schools looking at the social distancing and the division of classes? How can a one teacher spread himself? It's another challenge. We need to start crafting policies. And not only about talking about policies, I know there are a lot of policies there. And even Matthew, you know about the Education Act of 2011. We were discussing the act quite recently in Bon County with some stakeholders. And it's sad to know that the teaching quality is still a major concern. Not even in Moxoradi, congested area, but in all of the 15 counties across the country. And this is something that needs to be done. So the government needs to start looking at working with CSOs, the YOCEL, the ETF Liberia, the Small Liberia, or any other educational organizations. We need to start looking at it. We need to start building our teacher digital skills. Like many of our teachers currently don't know how to work on the internet, even on computers. We need to start doing those things. The government needs to start understanding that schools need to be given the right platform to expose that teaching quality. Because a school that is teaching today do not have no facility, but the students are still in school. How are we going to work with that? How are we going to look at the education sector plan that will be getting expired by next year, 2021? And the 5 major things that there, you cannot see education financing. That YOCEL and all 6 organizations are working to get 20% increment. You cannot see that 20% being implemented, but we got education financing as a major component in that document. How are you looking at monitoring, supervision, and assessment when a lot of these schools are not monitored and we don't know how many teachers are actually involved in the classroom, and schools have no database to track the teachers and students on a daily basis? How are we going to look at privatization? How are we going to look at professionalism? Before I talk about teacher quality, these are all professional situations. The government is driving, we agree. But the government needs to come in and bring the stakeholder on the table. It's time for us not to keep planning, but to implement all those things that we already planned. And the long-term impact will show that if we start to plan sooner, and our students who actually not learning because of the crisis, due to lack of internet facility, due to lack of smartphone, due to the lack of them getting digital knowledge in those things, the long-term impact would have a serious crisis on the SDG. But if it is implemented now, we found out that even if there is a disaster in the next few years or years to come, Liberia and the students in Liberia will be prepared to go through that crisis and successfully triumph, like in the US and other Western countries. Though the pandemic is there and spreading, but the students are still learning, but our students are still waiting. And it's sad to say that if school even opens today or on the 29th for effective classes, what happened to those who are at home? Our girls' children are exposed to gender-based violence because there's absolutely no way to learn. They are not being motivated, not even by some of their parents. And you giving an assignment, and they carrying it home, and you don't know who's doing those assignments for them. It's not showing any form of real learning, and we need to look at that. It's a serious crisis. From the standpoint of the NGO Forum, like you asked Matthew, the NGO Forum is working along with all of its members to see how we can support the government and implementing some of our activities. I know the Ministry of Education got brilliant plans that they came up with the learning by radio, and other great plans are coming for continuous learning and putting health facilities and communication in place, but the government cannot do it on her own. She needs stakeholders. And the CBOs, the NGOs, or whatever faith-based organization it is, those are the real deal that the government needs to bring on the table to not only plan, but to implement. You need money, you need idea. Idea is the pathway to get the money. And even if you have the money, you need a team to achieve the set objectives or goal that you set during the grant. And the government's coming up with another money, the COVID-19 grant to help reopen our school. And that's something that we're also working on to improve the quality. But generally, the short-term plan of our children is we need them to be back in the classroom. The teachers should be given back in the classroom. The school authority need to get those teachers motivated through whatever means it is for them to go. The government need to support the school, support the content base of the institution so that we can have effective learning. Other than that, long-term plan. We have many of our students being a graduate, but they will absolutely not be a competitor on the global market, because you will not only have the paper, but you need the ideas, you need the skills, and that comes with effectiveness from both the school authorities and the government, working along with CBO and getting funding for international grants.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. And so far, we've had a kind of healthy discussion today on the long and short-term impact of COVID-19 on the Liberian education sector. And we have so far learned that as a result of the crisis, there has been a disruption, a complete halt, and education actors have been faced with huge challenges on how to address that. So now the call is that government and the civil society organizations, specifically the National Education NGOs Forum, should come together, work together, and currently some of the framework, the plans that have been put in place for the reopening of schools should be looked at, probably to ensure that they are realistic as they relate with the current crisis and the standard of the Liberian education sector. So it was really great having Matthew and Goto with me today to host this discussion. It was a fruitful one. So I will take two final comments from the two of you, and then we call it a day. Matthew, okay, let's start with you. Your final comment, please.
I firstly want to appreciate iCampus community for inviting Educate Your Future Liberia to the first partner and inviting me as a person to this first episode. And I would like to commend you, Janet, for the great questions. I know somebody were pretty much tough, but we were ready for it, Matthew and myself, and thanks to Matthew and everybody. So it's time for us to change the dynamics of education in our country. We cannot always say words, but we must say our words and work by it with action. And it comes from the meaningful contribution that we have not only in the sector, but with the people that work within the sector. Our students deserve better. They are the brain and the dream of Liberia growth and development. If only Liberia is to be a better country in years to come, we need to educate our children, not by the document we put down, but by the way we see them in the lapses we have a team and how we can work to implement them. So it's a pleasure being here and Educate the Future Liberia. We mean and will always be grateful to support the Ministry of Education, the government of Liberia, and work with all CSOs and NGOs and NGOs to improve the sector of our beloved country.
Yeah, so I want to say thanks to you, Janet, for putting this together, and also to iCampus for organizing this learning working night. And I also want to say a big thank you to the USAID for supporting this entire effort, and also USAID for elevating our approach in the education sector. These are giving us the leverage to speak with a louder voice, and their support is well commended. We want to say a big thank you to USAID, to the Liberia candidate and consolidation that are also been supported supporting the entire More for Education endeavor. And I also want to say a big thank you to our viewers, those people who took the time off to listen to some of those ideas that we're offering across the table. And also I want to say a big thank you to each and every one of the young people that are in the advocacy for the 20% increment to the education sector. And I want to say a very big thank you to the people that are also not supporting us directly but are supporting us indirectly. But your support is needed, and we know that we collectively all can achieve the 20% increment to the education sector so that all of those issues that we are faced with can be mitigated. Again, I want to say thank you all for the time, and thank you very much for inviting me to the platform to speak on the maiden edition of the LAVI. Thank you very much, and thank you, USAID.
Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone. Thanks to the viewers and to the guests and just everyone watching today for tuning into the very first edition of our LAVI webinar. And we want to say a big thank you to USAID that has supported the webinar